Good afternoon, everybody. Just another pandemic psalm for you here on this Saturday of the fourth week of Lent. Wanted to share with you a few lines from Psalm 69. Again, taking that out of the Breviary translation here. But the psalm begins, "Save me, O God, for the waters have risen to my neck. I have sunk into the mud of the deep, and there is no foothold. I have entered the waters of the deep, and the waves overwhelm me." The psalm continues with a very honest kind of articulation of what it feels like to be overwhelmed, to be up against forces that seem to be beyond one's power to overcome or even to survive. Lord, I'm sinking into the deep. It strikes me that this is a sentiment that many people may be feeling right now, being overwhelmed, being up against things bigger than we are, things that we don't know how or when or if we'll be able to overcome. And I think the psalm is very powerful. We see here, as we see throughout, I think especially the Hebrew scriptures in a very beautiful way, the way that the people of Israel turned to God with exactly what they were feeling. They didn't kind of sugarcoat it, they didn't hide it, they didn't pretend, but they spoke to the Lord right from the heart. And I think that's necessary for authentic prayer. There's no one we are less able to fool than God, right? If we try to kind of tell him what we think he wants to hear, we're just not making any headway on that silly project. But I think we can fall into that very easily. So the hallmark of authentic prayer is to bring the Lord our hearts, um, as they say in Spanish, tal y como son, such as they are. Just as they are with all of the difficulties we have. And the psalm continues and ends in a word of trust to the Lord. I encourage you to read it, Psalm 69, but it begins with that honesty. And, if you're harboring in your heart, I don't know how you couldn't in these times, some kind of discouragement or frustration or sense of being overwhelmed, this is a very powerful psalm to pray it, but also to learn from the psalm how to bring the Lord to your heart with all that it contains. So know of my prayers for you. Please pray for me and all my brother priests as we continue to offer the Mass apart from our congregations and to know that the Lord is with us in all things, that He's offering us grace in time of need. Amen.